Hello. Just a quick side note from me as an editor. We are planning a book club episode about the book Transport by Philip P. Peterson. It's a science fiction book, and if you would like to read it before listening to the episode, which will, by the way, release on Friday the 10th of June 2022. You have about, I think, 3 weeks to get it, read it if you would like. It's pretty cheap. It's self-published. It was worth it. That much I can say. Now have fun with the episode. Hi, and welcome to our podcast, Art Will Power Life. My name is Anna.
My name is Simon.
And today we're going to talk about characters.
Right, specifically how to make them feel more like actual people. Because oftentimes I know when I write a character, they just kind of lack something or they lack a lot. And I think it's important to have really nice fleshed out characters because it just makes the story more interesting to read. And also it actually helps you write better stories.
Really bad at making characters, actually. And that's why I asked Simon to help me do that, because he knows a bit more about it, because I'm not really a people person. I'm face blind. I can't imagine faces in the first place. So I really need some help. Initial help. I'll get into it at some point myself, but for now.
Yeah, so you've been writing a story for like a long time. I know we've been talking about that. Like the first time you told me about it was like a year ago, I think.
Yeah, I've been writing this story for I don't know how long, maybe 2 years or something. And the funny thing is, my character is somewhere and I simply cannot get them to get out the door. It's just not possible for me. I don't know. It's like my brain is stuck in that one confined space and it cannot get out of it.
Yeah, that's a perfect, what would help you with that? Getting to know your character a bit better, because like I said, you don't have to imagine what your character is gonna do. If you know your character, you're gonna know how he or she is gonna react in a certain situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's my goal.
Yes. So
for today.
I prepared a lot of questions and I split them up into a few parts. So we have questions about your character's past, about your character's present, and about your character's future. But first, how about you introduce your character to us?
Okay. Today I have prepared for you, Simon, 3 characters.
3? Oh my god.
One is a very big character.
Mm-hmm.
The
like
main
physically
character,
or okay.
The main character, basically.
Uh-huh.
One is, the other main character, but I don't know anything about them just yet, and I want to find out while writing the story. Mm-hmm. So this one I will get to know while writing, and I'm not stuck with that part of the story, so I think that could work. If not, I'll come back to this. And the third one is a slightly bigger one, but not as big as the main character. So I have 3 characters. For 2 of those, I only have the names. And for one, I have a tiny bit. So, character number 1, main character. Yes. Name, Helena Walker. You helped me come up with that name, I think.
Did I?
Yeah, I think you asked me which names I liked, and I was like, okay, Helena, yep. Yes, that one.
Okay, yeah.
That one, I see your cursor. Helena's a writer. And in my mind, Helena is pretty androgynous. And that is why I would like to call them instead of she. Mm-hmm. She was assigned female at birth, and she lives in Victorian times, so, And since... Did I just say she? Did I contradict myself immediately?
Yes, you did. When you say Victorian times, give us a
A time frame? Well,
yeah, time frame, please.
during the reign of Queen Victoria in England. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's
do you
Victorian times. That's
Yeah,
until...
but
Wait, let me check.
hmm
That is from 20th June 1837 until 22nd January 1901.
Okay.
Yeah, Helena was assigned female at birth, but
hmm
they are androgynous and they're a writer in that time, so their pen name is Reuben H. Walker, H
hmm
standing for Helena, and yeah, they're basically presenting as a man. And Helena's age is 27. Hair color and style is, well, plain brown, fairly short, but still tuckable, like under a hat or something, so that
hmm
they can present male. Hobbies are writing, investigating, drawing poorly. I basically use myself.
But I think that's very normal. I think, like, I remember the first bigger story I wrote, the main character is basically just me, but like wearing a different hat. Maybe a few things were changed, but I think that's very normal. If you write a story that's very close to your heart, that you kind of base one of the characters at least on yourself. I think that's just normal when you're beginning.
Yeah, and I think Helena's pretty cool. So I'm honored
Well,
to be the
uh-huh.
outline for them. I don't know.
You want to be like them.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
No, they want to be like me. I was here first,
Okay.
even though they were born earlier, but they're fictional. So
Yeah. Fuck them. Okay. So, what else is there to know about your character? Like, what's the main things we need to know about them?
one thing you need to know about the story is that it's in the form of a letter, at least partly. And the letter is from Helena. So it's important to know that Helena rambles when they write.
Oh, I wonder where they got that from.
Yeah. And then also apologizing furiously for that.
Okay, so what do you think is missing from that character? Do you think you just don't know them well enough, or what do you think is missing?
When I picture Helena, I see something because,
Yes.
like I said, I'm face blind. I usually don't see a face or something. But if I picture you, for example, I see like an outline of you and I kind of know what you look like. And
Great.
that's almost the same with Helena by now. Hi, editor's note here. I don't know what was wrong with me. I literally never seem to have answered the right thing to Simon's questions. Maybe I will at some point. But I'm very sorry. I don't know what was going on with my head. Please forgive me. Okay, back to the recording.
Okay, cool. So you do have a grasp about what they're like.
Yes,
Yes. But
but I'm still stuck.
you're still stuck. Okay, so what would you like to know more about regarding Helena? Do you want to know about past, present, or maybe a future? What do you think would help you get to know them a little bit better?
The past.
The past, yeah, that's pretty
I know
good
about
idea.
their future.
You know about the future, great. So, the first question is, by the way, the questions I've assembled from various sources, which will be linked in the description, and some of them I came up with myself. So, yeah, the first topic to discuss would be just your character's basic history, like where did they grow up, what's the relationship with their parents like, and how did they arrive at the current place in their life? Like these kinds of questions.
Okay, so Helena was definitely born around London somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe let's do an estate around London. And what I do know about them is that they're wealthy because of the father who was a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Does Helena have a good relationship with their parents?
I guess so. Let's make a weird backstory that's pretty cliche, okay?
Yeah, it's fine. The cliches are a good way to start as long as you don't stay with them.
Yeah, no, I always want to be a hipster in some way, so don't worry about that. So, mother. Mother is basically, let's say, died when they were 12, of whatever.
Being too British.
Definitely died from sadness.
Yes, yeah, a broken heart.
Not a broken heart, I mean, but
Just like a swan. Oh.
the mother fainted and
Yes,
missed the fainting sofa by an inch.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Well, she's dead. She's just dead. That's fine. That's
Yeah, died when they were 12, definitely. And then the dad, after that, buried himself in work. That's a cliche, but that's
fine.
also something that I would probably do.
And it's realistic, yeah. Is their relationship more formal, the one between Helena and their parents? Or is it, well, with their father right now? Is it formal or is it like, is there a friendship? And if Helena was in danger, could they rely on their father?
The mother is basically a guardian angel, has always been very pretty and very feminine, very very like Mother Nature, basically.
Yeah.
Like Mother Nature feels to me.
Yeah, probably like women were supposed to be in that time. Was she like the typical housewife in that era, or was there something more to her? Or is she just like the perfect trophy wife, basically?
Let me get to that. Because
Okay.
Helena is androgynous, has always been androgynous, and has always been supported by their parents.
That's weird in that
That's
time.
incredibly weird. But the dad was a doctor. And, oh God, should I mix the... Oh God. I'm getting myself entangled in some shit.
No, but it's good. It makes you think about the story you have in your head little bit more, like about the backstory.
Okay.
That's why we're doing this. Maybe you have a certain idea, but if thinking about it a little bit more, you realize that's not the kind of direction I want to go in with my character. Like that backstory doesn't really fit.
Yeah, yeah. But Helena is a loving partner also. And I think in order to be that, you need to have somehow experienced love from somewhere.
Yeah, I don't. I
Yeah,
think,
no. It's not necessary.
no.
You can also grow that yourself. But I think it helps if you have had a loving surroundings.
Yeah, definitely helps. Yeah. No, it's hard to come up with that kind of thing on the spot. So take your time. These are just ideas that the listeners can also use to flesh out their character. So if you don't come to a conclusion right now, that's totally fine. If you say that's a good idea, I'm gonna think about that. But let's move on for now. Or I have a bunch more questions.
I don't know if that aligns. I have no idea. But I watched that movie about not the first, but yeah, I think it was the first gender affirming surgery ever. And I would like the dad to be one of those people.
Okay.
I want a doctor who supports women's rights and helped with gender affirming surgery.
Yeah, if you have a kind of character who is supportive of women's rights, it's probably gonna be like in that time period. It's probably gonna be a doctor or like someone in the higher classes. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think the whole family is just like their own cult that's pretty modern.
Yeah,
And that would be totally not allowed if they were to present that to anyone outside their family, but they do it.
Yeah,
and I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and probably as a doctor, the father is very well respected, so he's more allowed by society to have different opinions because of his social status,
Yeah.
I can imagine
And
that kind of protects him and his family a bit
Yes.
from being judged too much.
Definitely. And he's also smart enough to influence some stuff without actually, getting the wrath of straight white men.
I don't think probably everyone at that time was against women's rights. I bet women were indoctrinated into thinking the role that they're fulfilling right now is all that they need to fulfill. I think probably they were so indoctrinated that even they would think, why are they trying to change things? This is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
Okay. Yeah.
right now the trend in Victorian era stuff goes more and more to women who want women's rights and stuff.
Yeah, sure, because they're like the not forefathers, foremothers. Is that a word? Yeah,
Yes.
they're like the foremothers of.
Let's make it a word.
Yeah, let's make it a word. Yeah, so of course that's what's interesting. You don't want to hear about the woman who's like, "Fuck woman, I'm fine with the way I am." You want people who actually want to change something as your main characters and
Exactly.
protagonists. Yeah,
Exactly. And especially right now, I think it's important that there are fictional characters like that out there.
Okay, so yeah, and now we know a little bit more about your characters, just history, how they came up, basically.
I'm always smiling when you say they, right? Nice.
So okay,
Yeah.
that's yeah.
And the motivation, I don't think I can spoil this too much, but the motivation is because of the brother, and they have a brother.
What happens with their brother?
For that, I would have to explain the story.
Well, I mean, I think it's important to know what our character wants in order to properly explore them.
Okay, so our character lives in a fictional Victorian London, and there are people who found/developed a serum that makes people live forever. And
That's neat.
yes, and said serum is, it's pretty cool if you like that kind of stuff, but
If you like living, it's pretty nice, yeah.
But those people get abducted, the people who took it. And it's legal, the serum. You're allowed to get it. If you have the money, you can pay for it. It's usually only rich people, but And I'm bad at telling stories.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
Yes. Well, and of course, the brother took the serum and then was abducted. And the father found out and sent Helena on a journey to find out what's up.
Okay, well, that speaks of a great trust of the father to Helena, I think. That's really interesting. Something to think about, because that's kind of a wholesome family dynamic. I like it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So your character has a pretty clear goal that they're striving for, which is, I think, great. Before their brother was abducted, did they have any other dreams or aspirations or something that they strive for? Because they were probably put on hold when disaster struck. And I think it's important to remember that these characters are also like independent people, because when you are faced with a problem, that's not the only thing that's happening in your life. You also have to deal with a bunch of other stuff and things you maybe want to do. So is there something that Helena would really like to do?
They would strive to become a writer under a male pen name who kind of writes between the lines about women's rights and about, stuff like that. Just changing the world. And also, at some point, they would like to... fuck it. Their partner is a girl, and they are also assigned female at birth. So they would like to present as the couple that they are, which they cannot do currently, and they would like to achieve that at some point. And for that, among other things, they write.
So there's probably a lot of anger in your main character, in Helena, because if you can't be who you are, there's a lot of Yeah, that just makes you angry, probably. So,
And yeah, you're
yeah.
probably right with that. But I have never experienced any kind of hate
Oh,
of that
really?
sort. Never. Nothing. So I cannot relate. And I don't know what that anger would look like.
Ooh, someone has to get in touch with their feelings. Because I honestly can't believe that nothing's ever made you really mad.
Stuff has made me really, really, really mad, but
Yeah.
nothing connected to like gender or sexuality things.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And that's a different kind of anger, you know? If you haven't experienced that, I don't think you can know what it's like.
But there are probably other people who know what that's like, and maybe you research online about these kinds of people and problems and the way it made them feel.
Yeah. Helena is a pretty happy person all in all though. I mean, I'm a happy and positive and optimistic person even though I've lived through some shit. So I think that Helena can do the same thing even though they store anger about a certain thing.
So you would describe them as happy?
Yes, definitely happy, definitely uplifting to everyone around them, masking for something probably, but that's fine. Their biggest weaknesses actually are their family, their gender. They're an introvert, so that's not easy in certain situations, and social awkwardness.
Okay, but how does that happiness combine with the fact that their brother was abducted and his life is in danger? I don't think the
um,
character's gonna be that happy throughout the whole story.
yeah, that's why I said masking. You know, imagine you're living your life and suddenly something pretty bad happens, but there's hope. There's definitely hope.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm just
so
gonna lay in
so
bed and cry. I don't care.
yeah, some people do that and other people just try and play happy as to not grow mad with, you know, all those emotions. So they mask it. And Helena is one of those people that just don't let the bad emotions take over. They feel bad emotions. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. They cherish them, but right now it's just not the time. They need to save their brother.
Okay. Actually, that ties directly into another question that I have for you. So, one of the questions I wrote down was, when was the last time your character cried, got really angry, or showed a lot of emotions? Like, even in private, not publicly. Or when was the last time they had to, like, maybe before the whole thing with their brother happened? When was the last time that they had to hide their emotions?
Their manuscript was rejected. And yeah, for the, I don't know how many times that has happened before, probably like 5, and it's that's not a good feeling. And they cried to their partner and probably also their dad, and both of them most likely tried to uplift them again
So,
because they do
yeah.
the same thing with them all the time with their family, and
Okay,
so
so
they repay that.
Helena reacts with sadness, not with anger, when something terrible happens.
I think the tiny stages of grief run through their mind. It's a bit of anger, but after the sadness.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so I think I like it. You kind of have an emotionally broken character. That's the way I perceive them.
Wait,
And
is it though? Is it?
yeah, yeah, they don't seem that much in touch with their emotions and with their feelings. And you should be, like, I think to fully be developed as a person, you should be a bit more in touch with your feelings.
Honestly, you're probably right.
Yeah. So that's interesting. That could be like another like internal conflict for your character, like just allowing themselves to be more emotional, maybe being angry at others, because when your brother's abducted, you probably would be very angry, and maybe that comes out at like the worst possible moment. That's something maybe to think about.
You're right. They should punch their brother.
Maybe not their brother. Well, maybe their brother.
Why would you
because
get the serum in the first place, you bitch?
yeah, maybe maybe the happy reunion gets disrupted by like a punch to the face.
If they even find their brother, I don't know
If they
that
even
yet.
find their brother, right? But yeah, you know.
Yeah,
Okay, interesting. Okay. You think you're getting to know your character a little bit better?
definitely. I like them so much more now.
Yeah, great. Okay, yeah. It's good to just talk about something like that because, like with any thought, I think, not just with creating a character, sometimes I even have opinions. And when I talk, like opinions about politics or anything, and when I say them out loud, I kind of get another perspective on them, and then I realize, oh, that's not exactly what I wanted. That's not exactly what I'm really feeling. That's just what I was thinking. So
Yeah.
in the same way, when you talk about your character, this picture you have in your brain of that character kind of shatters and maybe reveals the true character beneath it.
Yes, absolutely.
So I see you're writing something down in the document. Let me.
I
And
just
isn't
wrote,
that-
in the end, in touch with feelings.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe they don't have to like be a Zen master and know everything
Definitely
about themselves.
not.
But
Definitely
like
not.
maybe if they learned
But
one
they-
thing about themselves, that's enough.
They can come home and just break down crying and tell their partner everything.
But
And-
but that's what they already do. That's not something that's new to them. Like
True,
maybe I think
true.
the anger angle is something you should shoot for.
See, I'm totally not the anger person. I'm not an anger person.
Oh, I tell
At
you,
all.
it's very fun. It's very fun. No, it's not fun, but it's interesting. It's maybe that's also maybe you can grow with your character. Maybe you can learn something through your character. I think that would be really nice.
Maybe.
Yeah, and that in turn would help you write the character. It's like kind of a symbiotic relationship. I think that's kind of cool. It's like a cool,
Yes.
like when you're famous and your story is like in all the bookshelves, you can be like, yeah, I also like got really good with my feelings. Oh, by the way, I don't even know, is the story planned as like a longer thing, like a novella, or is it gonna be a short story? Is it gonna be a novel? Do you have any idea?
I would like to write a novel at some point. I don't know if this one's going to be one.
Okay.
But I have two story strands that will become intertwined. Yes. And
Interesting.
we'll probably get to that soon.
Yeah, maybe if you want, we can stop. We can take a break from Helena and maybe talk about one of the other characters you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about Willow then.
Willow. Willow is male, female, androgynous, something else.
Willow doesn't know what gender they are.
Willow.
Nobody else knows
Also,
either.
Willow doesn't know rhymes, so I like that already. Willow doesn't know.
I mean, kind of. For a rhyme, don't there need to be like?
No, the rhyme is only as
It
good
needs
as
to
you.
be the last syllable, or at least three.
Well, there are.
Three letters.
I don't know what they're called, but there are rhymes which just sound alike. They don't have to be written the same way. You know,
I
you've
know.
never
I
heard
know.
rap. They rhyme things you wouldn't even believe are in the same language.
Yes, that's why I only sometimes enjoy rap. because,
Your rap education is lacking.
because I'm always like, that didn't rhyme.
Well, yeah, poems and I think rap texts don't always have to rhyme. I think sometimes the message is more important than the rhyme, but
Yes,
You
but
also
then don't
can't
try
have
to
any-
rhyme.
yeah, that's different. But that's also this is a topic for another time.
Yes.
For
it
now,
is.
let's talk about Willow.
Yes, let's talk about Willow.
Let's
So,
talk about
Willow was born. I know Willow's entire life story,
Okay.
except for some parts. Willow was born out of wedlock, was left alone as a baby. Nobody knows who picked them up or what they did until they turned like 6, something like that. And then they kind of reappeared. Everyone in the village knew there was that one child out of wedlock, and yeah, they knew the mother, they knew that it happened, but they didn't know the father, they didn't know what happened there. But Willow looks a lot like their mother, and that's why they know this is the missing child that went missing about 6 years ago, something like that. And then suddenly they reappear in the village, do some stuff like beg for food, just stuff to survive. They cannot speak. They don't really like people because they might never have met any. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay.
And yeah, their looks are rugged, thin, sunburned skin, like they lived outside their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And their hair is long and thin and dirty.
Okay, I think you mentioned to me before we started recording that this person, was it this person that lived in another time period?
Yes.
Yes, talk about that for a moment.
I don't know which time period exactly it is. Should I? Yeah, let me. 1 second.
Yeah. And also maybe how that ties into the rest of the story.
So if Helena lived in 1876.
Mm-hmm. 76. That's a
Then
good number. I like it.
Willow
Mm-hmm.
lived in 1676.
Ah, I get it. It's like minus 200.
Yep.
I know math. I knew. I
Yes.
get it.
Yes, I don't know math, and even I got that. So
Not bad. Not bad. You're learning.
yes. Okay. Yeah, there were two aspects that I needed to pay attention to so that the time is right. But yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So what's missing from Willow? What do you need to know to make that character interesting and fleshed out? Or what are you unclear about?
I'm unclear about everything else.
Okay, so you know about basically their upbringing, and you're not sure what happens after that, if I understand you correctly?
I do know what happens after that, but I would still like to find out what happened in the last 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, the last 2 years.
So, when you say the last 2 years, do you mean like what is the point? How old is your character when they start to appear in the story?
They are around between 6 and 10.
Okay, so and they're gonna stay that young?
No.
Okay, but then you basically want to know the 2 years before that character first appears.
Yeah, I want to know everything they can remember.
Okay, interesting.
Not in detail, but I want to know what happened in general.
Okay.
Like who they were raised by and what, and this is a fictional world. It could have been animals who raised them.
Mm-hmm. I think a question that could help you with thinking about that a little bit more is, does Willow have like a deep, dark secret that they wouldn't tell anyone, even if it like cost them their life? Like maybe something happened in these last 2 years that they could never share with anyone. Maybe they did something to someone to survive, or maybe they got physically scarred and they always keep that part of their body clothed so that no one knows that something happened. Maybe your character discovered something about themselves that they are afraid of, and that's what they're trying to hide.
Okay. Thanks for those questions. I know it now.
Yeah?
But I won't tell the podcast because this is my secret.
Well, give us a hint. Give us a little hint.
Wait, let me write this down before I forget it.
Okay, sure. Some good ass questions these people wrote up in their blog posts. Yeah. Oh, I even got another one that would help with Willow, I think, like with their past. But let's just finish this thought before we go to another one. So how's the writing going? Did you do you have a hint about?
Yeah, I do, and
the
I
dark
even
secret
have...
of your character.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So they were raised by their father for the first 3 or 4 years, and then got chased out with a branding iron. and that's why they have scars on their back.
Mm-hmm.
Then they lived in the woods and got food from animals who took care of them. And then when they grew too much, it didn't suffice anymore, and so they had to go begging. And that is where they met Lavender, my personal favorite character ever.
Okay.
Lavender is an older woman.
Wait, sorry, I have to interrupt you because an idea I got with Willow, maybe like that would be a cool secret that they had to, you said that animals cared for Willow up until they were like 6 years old, I think, maybe.
Yes.
Probably. And when the food that they provided didn't suffice, maybe Willow had to eat the animals that provided for him.
No.
No? It's too dark?
Willow's vegetarian.
Okay. Well,
Willow is
would you
in
be
tune with nature. Willow loves nature.
as a 4-year-old who
Yes, Willow
didn't
is
have
magical,
a choice?
obviously.
I don't know, but if you don't have a choice, like
No.
when you are living
No,
alone
you
in the
don't
woods.
know Willow like I do.
No, I don't. I'm just saying it's not like if I think of
Willow,
a character, I don't think they would
wait,
be choosy.
Wait. Imagine
Yes.
you are a 3-year-old. You have never seen anything dead ever. You have never eaten any meat. You don't know that those lovely things that take care of you, that you don't even have a name for, that provide for you, that warm you in the cold, that give you a home after you've been chased out. They don't know that that could potentially be food. How would they know that?
The animals eat other animals. And
No,
Willow
those
probably saw
don't.
that. Well,
Those
Yeah,
don't.
okay. Well, then, what kind of animals did take care of Willow? Because that's important. I think.
Well,
I mean,
I think it's mostly rodents and birds.
Yeah, okay. I had thought of something like dogs or wolves because they have like a natural connection with humans, and that would make sense that they would trust each other. But okay. Yeah, okay. The animals you're describing, I don't think they eat meat. Yeah, okay. Look, I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yes.
Okay. Still a cool secret though, but I understand it. That you're not gonna
meat.
eat meat.
Why would you even say stuff like that? That's like-
How could I get that preposterous idea that starving child would eat anything that they find?
No, Willow has other priorities.
Okay, but no, I respect that, but I think it would make sense. Like it's a possible thing. You're like, nope, they
Definitely
would never.
Nope.
Maybe someone else would in their situation. I probably would. I'd eat those,
you probably would,
yeah,
but
I'd
Willow
eat
is
those
not you.
ants.
Willow is a nice kid.
I'm nice, but I also like eating stuff.
Oof.
Okay. Secret got like burned by their father, had to live with animals. Does Willow share the fact that they were raised by animals, or is that something that they keep to themselves?
They keep it to themselves because, first of all, they cannot speak.
Ah, okay.
At least not in the beginning. And second of all, they think it's normal that kids just get chased out and hurt and then get picked up by animals.
no.
They don't know that's not normal. How would
no.
they? They were 3 when it happened.
Okay, I get it. Yeah. I mean, I think you can you learn to speak when you're like 3. I think you can already speak.
Yeah,
when
but
you're
nobody
3.
taught them. Their father didn't love them.
Oh.
They weren't loved by anyone until they met those animals. And they thought it was a blessing. They love back. And then, once they meet Lavender, they can transfer that to a human.
Okay. Then
Yes.
who do you want to talk about, Lavender, or do you want to explore Willow a little bit more?
I think I'm done with Willow. I don't want to get too deep into Willow.
Okay.
That sounded wrong.
That sounded very wrong. Okay, then let's talk about Lavender. By the way, love that name. It's a really, Pretty nice
Me
name.
too. I love lavender. And lavender too.
Yeah, lavender and lavender are my favorite things.
Same. So lavender
Yes.
is a witch.
Yeah, continue.
Lavender is also lonely. Very, very lonely. Because at the time, that is 1676, the witch trials in Europe had just died down a little bit. And since Lavender was a witch,
Yes.
she was in hiding until a couple of years ago.
Makes sense.
And then got back out and slowly started healing again and exploring and stuff and building a life, building a reputation. But it's still not like anyone really likes her. She lives in her tiny home and sometimes helps people if they need her.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to know. She's helpful. She tries to help other people, but the people are not really thankful.
I mean, some of them are grateful, sure, but not enough so that they would admit that she's cool.
That she's cool. So did you? Well, what are the words that would make Lavender feel appreciated?
Probably, I'm sorry your whole profession almost got killed. I'm sorry that I misjudged you. Basically a whole bunch of I'm sorries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how does Willow come into her life?
Willow goes begging, and one night they have to take shelter, and Lavender knows that. Like, Lavender can feel that the weather's changing and that it might kill Willow. And then Willow comes by the house and Lavender's like, hey, come in. Please come in. And they communicate with their hands and feet because Willow cannot speak or understand anything. And Willow is very hesitant.
Makes sense, yeah.
As you would be. But they decide to take shelter with Lavender, and that's how it all begins.
Okay. So, Lavender, what are the things that you want to figure out about her?
I want to find out how she looks, what her age is,
Okay.
what she does all day, because I kind of know that she ventures into the forest and looks for herbs and stuff, as a true witch should always do. But other than that, I mean, I guess she heals people, but what else does she do? How does she get her food? And did she know Willow before? Like, did she stumble upon them in the woods and while they were sleeping and creepily stared at them and contemplated if she should take them or not?
Yeah, I think I actually got 2 tips for you for Lavender.
Yes.
One of them would be take Lavender and let her go through just an average day, before she met Willow. Where, when, how does she wake up? What does she do to get ready in the morning? How does she get her food? Does she like living alone? Would she like not living alone? Just these basic questions. What does she do all day? Just literally make a, maybe you can pretend to be her and just plan your day.
Okay. As for the lonely thing, Lavender used to live with a bunch of other witches. Let's say this. But all of them got killed.
That sucks.
There are other witches out there that had the same thing happen to them, and they went to black magic. But Lavender never did. Lavender never touched black magic. Even though she knows it, of course she does. You should know what you're not supposed to do. But she never used it.
Okay.
So an average day wakes up, expects her best friend to do something that she always did. But she doesn't because she's dead. and she gets reminded, and that makes her sad.
Yeah.
And then she cooks some food.
Where did she get that food?
Grains with herbs, grains from the market, herbs she picks in the woods. And
yeah, okay.
then she looks outside, no one's there, so she allows herself to go foraging for a bit, getting some herbs. And and then I'll do some research. I already did, by the way, which herbs she could find at that time and where and how. And then she comes back home, she puts the herbs on a string, puts down the already dried ones, grinds them up a bit, and then knocks on the door. Someone's ill. Someone's got like a wound that's infected and smells very, very bad. And Lavender's like, well, bro, you should have been here days ago. And the other one looks uncomfortable as heck. And Lavender immediately knows that person is thinking, well, I'd rather not have come at all, but see, I'm almost dying here, so I don't have a choice. Yeah, and that's how you kind of see that nobody really trusts her. And then Lavender takes care of that, gives the person some more stuff, receives, I don't know, some food or whatever. Some people pay in food, other people pay in money. Yeah.
Okay.
And then she cooks some more, does some witchy stuff. The typical...
riding on a broom.
No. I'd say
playing
maybe,
Quidditch.
Well, she cannot communicate with the dead, but she can make like charms to protect the dead and to wish the dead well, and she can like make a little altar for her fallen friends and light a candle, say a few words, a few magic words, and then exchange the old charm for another one and stuff. And that's her daily ritual. Yes.
Okay.
I think that could be cool. And then she's like, this smells like rain and thunder. Yes, I should probably make the house stormproof. And then she goes outside. Oh, look, it's that tiny kid.
Little person, man.
Yes.
Little person.
Person.
Yes. Little person. Okay, cool. So, yeah. That's
we happy with that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy. Are you
with
happy with that? It's just a question. It's supposed to help you get to know your character a little bit better. If that helped, then I'm happy.
Yeah. And I basically paraphrased the whole book page just now.
Yeah. Like, was that something you had figured out already, or
no?
Was that it's great. Yeah, I could picture that as like the introduction for that character. I really liked that.
Yeah.
So another thing that I think would be interesting is like to switch the point of view, because now you have this new person in Lavender's life, Willow, and how does Willow see Lavender? Like, how does she walk? How does she talk? How does her face muscles move when she is angry or sad or happy? Maybe write a few scenes about that or think about that. And by the way, anything you thought of in the last few hours, like in the last hour, you don't have to put that actually in the book. You can just have that as background information for yourself. But maybe it would help you describing Willow's point of view, watching Lavender do some things, and describing them to themselves.
Yeah. I already wrote a character that was basically a kid once, and I think I managed that quite well. So I think I could probably change viewpoints.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be two characters that actually meet in the story. You could also take Helena and make her judge Lavender. They don't have to actually meet. Like I said, it doesn't have to there doesn't have to be like a scene where two of them actually talk to each other or judge each other, but it just gets you out of your own headspace and makes you reconsider some things. Maybe just helps you get a better idea of how they are perceived. Yes, because Willow's opinion of Lavender is probably very different from Helena's if they were to live in the same age.
Well, Lavender has very, very sad eyes even when she smiles. But she is genuinely happy to have Willow in her life suddenly.
So
but she's just sad.
Yeah, understandably, given her backstory. Yeah. Maybe the eyes of Lavender remind Willow of an owl who has just lost one of her young, or something like that, you know? Just,
Yes.
yeah, that would be something to also connect them through their backstories. Or through Willow's backstory.
You're right.
Yay.
I was thinking of how to implement that. And, well, Willow is very sensitive.
Yeah.
Sensitive and
great.
insightful.
Well, that's great because then you can, you know, really describe it well. Probably with like Lavender's way of talking and living. It's probably a very unique perspective that Willow can offer. Yeah. So that's you've got a lot of stuff to think about, I think.
I do.
Yeah. I think I've got a few more questions, but how are you feeling? Are you happy so far? Do you think you want to talk a little bit more about some of the characters?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, which one? Which one do you want to talk about a little bit more?
Do you have a question about looks?
Let me think. Well, switching of a point of view, that could be used for looks, for example. That's one of the things that can be used for. About looks. No, I actually don't have that much about looks, because I thought you were not going to be as interested in that as probably in some other things.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm definitely not. But
Yeah.
I would still
But
like
it's
to find
important.
out Lavender's age and
Yeah.
her hair color.
Hair colors. Could you color your hair when you, like in the 1600s? Was there a way to like make your hair purple? I don't know.
In some cultures, for sure.
Yeah. Interesting.
Purple, I don't think so. Well, maybe with berries.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting, because then you could just go wild.
I know that henna's pretty old, and henna's still a hair color.
Yeah, let's think about how could we figure out how a character looks. Well, you know, you can just do one of the typical things that a lot of writers do. The character wakes up and looks at themselves in the morning. What do they think? What do they see?
Ugh, I hate that scene.
Yeah, but that doesn't have to be that has
so
to have to be
much.
in the book. It can just be for yourself to figure out the
But
character.
it's always like the men writing women and the women writing men thing. Like, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, my tits are nice today.
Her
What
boobs
the
around.
hell?
Yeah. There's a great subreddit. You probably know that one, right? Men writing women.
That's why I said it.
And the sad thing is, one of my favorite authors is like in there a lot, but he's still great. He just doesn't know how to write women.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So when Lavender goes into the into the city and shops for ingredients for her spells or charms or whatever, what do the people that sell her those things, or what do the people that she walks past think about her? What do they see?
Her hair has charms in them. Hair color is dark gray.
Gray is
Yeah,
cool.
let's say dark gray.
Okay,
Yes.
so she's older, or is that just is it colored, or is it just natural gray hair?
I don't know how old Lavender is. I don't know. Should I make her a witch that lives through centuries? I could. Make her like 400 years old.
I mean, you could, but why? Why would you do that? Like, is that something?
Because she could actually live long enough to meet Helena.
Okay, if that's something you want to do, sure, you could do that.
That was the initial plan, actually, to make Lavender pretty fucking old.
Okay, so great. that's something figured out.
I just wrote 372, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she's like, what would that be in human years? It would be
human years. What would that be in dog years?
47. Yeah, let's say 47.
Okay.
Looks rugged, long, brown, dirty clothes, green accessories. I don't know how to make them, but if I can find a way to make them at that time, then I will make them green.
Yeah, probably.
Dark gray charms in hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Hobbies.
I mean, I think her life is full enough as it is. Not every character has to have hobbies.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I just have it.
Hobbies, like playing baseball, long walks on the beach.
Her height. What's her height? She's...
Yeah, but I think like something like height is not that important. That's not, like not tall. Wow, that leaves a few other options. Taller than tall. Taller than 27x. That's what
Yes.
Anna just wrote.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think you got some ideas or some questions that you can think about for later. Mm-hmm. But what did you think about these questions?
The questions were very inspiring. So I think I liked all of the questions.
Okay.
So, you asked the questions and my mind was immediately like, okay, what can I do with this?
Yeah. That's good.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't remember shit, but I liked them.
Another question I had that I wanted to ask, but it really didn't fit into the time period. You could still make it work. What kind of music does your character listen to? I mean, you could still make that work in like Victorian England if your character was transported into the future. And then what kind of music would they listen to? And what do they like about it? Why do they like it? Yeah, something like that.
Wait, let me check.
You have a certain image in your head of someone that listens to a certain kind of music, and does your character match that or not? And that's something to think about. But, that wasn't the best question I thought for this kind of story.
Well, I imagine Helena to have a big gramophone.
Yeah.
They listen to while writing, and it plays jazz and classical.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wait, sorry, which character did you say? Sorry.
Helena.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Being like from a higher social class, that would make sense.
Yes.
Yeah, so another question I had that I thought was kind of interesting is, imagine if your character died right now, what would be in their will? It would make you think about what do they own and who's important to them, because like who's gonna get what they own, who would go to their funeral, and what things would have been left unsaid between the attendants of the funeral and the main character. That would just show what's important to your main character. That would be
well, for
something
Willow,
to think about.
It would be Lavender, and for Lavender, it would be Willow.
Yeah.
And probably Helena's last thought would go to their partner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they love their dad, but their partner is other love.
Yeah. Another thing you could think about that I thought was really interesting is choose one happy, one sad, and one mysterious memory, something that left you with an unanswered question. I thought that was really interesting, just seeing how your character reacts in different kinds of situations. I just want to get the last questions off my chest. I think we talked about enough, just for the listeners, something more to think about.
Yeah, and I'll try to give brief answers still.
Mm-hmm.
Happy memory. Helena being with their whole family when the mother was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably happy memory. Sad memory is, when the mother died.
Okay.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the brother got abducted and stuff like that. Mysterious memory.
Well, the sad and happy memory, they shouldn't be really tied to the story or the plot, I think. Should be something that, that just fleshes them out a bit more. It doesn't have to relate to the story in any way.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Just as a reminder for the listeners.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were reprimanding me.
No. I mean, I don't know how important the mother's death is in the story, but I'm guessing it's not.
Oh, it isn't. It's not even in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Not yet.
Nah, could be.
Mysterious memory. Let's make it the same thing, the mother's death.
Ooh, interesting.
Willow, a happy memory.
None. Fill out later.
Happy memory is being found by the animals.
Mm-hmm. Like, how were they found?
Friends.
But how were they found? Where was Willow injured?
Willow just ran straight to the woods, and at some point collapsed and started crying.
Mm-hmm.
And then the animals slowly came out and comforted them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment they were pretty inseparable.
Okay.
Willow just has that aura, that animals like me aura.
It's a nice aura.
The one
to
that
have.
I do with
Plants.
spiders.
Oh, I thought plants. Plants love you.
Plants don't love me.
Wait.
Plants hate me and I hate them too.
Excuse me?
Except for you, honey. Except for you. I love you. Yeah.
Casually talking
but
to your
animals,
plants.
spiders love me.
That's scary. I don't
The
want.
second I decided that I'm not scared of spiders. Why would I be?
I don't know,
I don't have a phobia.
hairy
It doesn't
and
make any
weird.
sense for me personally to be scared of spiders. So I just won't be. And like the next day, spiders just were on my shoulder, and then all summer long, I looked at a place of my body that was tickling a tiny bit, and there was always a spider there.
Oh God.
I loved it.
No.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry,
That's
arachnophobes.
horrible.
I'm so
That's like
sorry,
a nightmare
arachnophobes.
for me.
But they were tiny and they were very cute, and I loved it and I enjoyed it very much.
I'm happy.
It won't happen to you, because it happened to me because I opened up my space and they sensed that, and I have a green aura. I'm a witch, okay?
I didn't
Thank
know you opened up MySpace. How did you feel when Facebook took over?
Delete your Facebook.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what Willow's like.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, arachnophobes again. I'm so sorry.
So did I have another question? Let me think. Let me think. Okay, that's actually the last question. It has to do with the character's past. Give us 3 adjectives that describe your character in the present, and think about what made them that way. Like situations or life circumstances that made them think I have to be this or that way to survive.
Stuff that made them who they are today?
Yes, stuff that made them who they are
Like
today.
moments in the past.
Yes, or life circumstances. Maybe, it makes sense that Willow doesn't trust humans because the first human that they met was an abusive asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Lavender as well.
Yeah, exactly. But
Lavender is sad because of that.
yeah, what
And,
else is
I mean,
Lavender?
Helena, Lavender is also caring, very caring.
Yeah,
She lived with her best friend for a long time, and they shared everything, and they loved each other as a family.
yeah. But was she
And,
like that
yes.
from the beginning, or did she learn that? Is that learned behavior?
Lavender honestly doesn't remember. She's 372 years old. She doesn't know who her initial family was. She just chose her family at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you would probably remember that, but I'll
don't
just
think-
choose not to have her remember that.
I think you wouldn't after 300 years. I mean, it depends on how you write your immortality, but I think like having normal human minds, we forget so easily, or we remember situations falsely. So I think even if Lavender remembered anything, it would probably be like a
Wrong.
hodgepodge of different dumb
Yeah.
things that probably never happened.
Yes. Yes. So, Lavender, chosen family, loving and also sad
Mm-hmm.
and not open to most humans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Helena, obviously assigned female at birth, but also doesn't want to be, but still feels for women. Adjectives. Determined to change stuff.
Mm-hmm. And obviously because the way they are now is not accepted in society, so makes sense that they would want to change stuff.
Yes, and also at home it's always been so different than in society.
Mm-hmm.
And they never got that really.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't everyone just be accepting?
Mm-hmm.
That's so strange. That's something I'm very, very passionate about as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why would you
It's
not be
easier
accepting?
to
Why?
be scared.
It doesn't hurt you.
Well, yeah, but some people have their happy upbringing and some people have their not so happy upbringing where they learn that stuff that they don't know is horrible and they don't want to have anything to do with it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
logical.
It's kind of lazy and
Well, but
sad
it's
and
logical.
stupid to not form an own opinion at some point.
That's true. But
That's
maybe
my opinion.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I think some people don't. It sounds dumb, but they don't get opportunity to learn their own opinion because they were never taught how to do that. And that's like kind of a, you don't get taught how to learn yourself, so you can't learn how to. You don't know
Yes.
how to learn yourself. It's really sad.
I know that.
But
That's so awful. My brain is so compassionate, and my brain's always like, they don't mean it. They're not an asshole.
But-
Their parents were probably
Yeah.
assholes and taught them to be an asshole. But I'm like, no, brain, no. Now I just don't care anymore. If someone's an asshole, then they're an asshole.
Yeah.
Don't try to make excuses for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably just makes you less pissed off if you think like that it's not their fault. But obviously, that doesn't excuse their
It does
behavior.
piss me off because it
why? If it's not their fault,
my faith,
like I
my
mean,
faith
you can
in
still
humanity.
but you can still hold them accountable. But you don't have to like make it ruin your day.
No, it doesn't ruin my day, but I can let out a little bit of anger instead of letting it build up
That's true.
more and more.
Yeah, that's bad.
More and more assholes ruin my days. I just freak out once, say they're an asshole, and then it's done.
Yeah. What were we talking about before we got off on that tangent?
The last question.
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah.
was
The thing with the adjectives.
what makes someone?
What makes them how they are
Adjective.
today?
What makes you adjective?
Dumb. Okay, so,
Yeah.
dear listeners, if you thought that the questions made sense, maybe think about them for your own stories and your own characters. And I think it really will help you make your characters more realistic and get to know them a little bit better. And like I said, if you know your character, you can just throw them into random situations and the story kind of writes itself, I think, because I think you have an instinctive knowledge of how people who are a certain way would react to something. Like if you know your father is a very stoic man, if you tell him something exciting that happened in your life, he's just gonna be, okay, cool, wanna watch TV? Like you can just kind of guess how certain characters are gonna react. And that's why I think it's very important to ask yourself these questions. I think that's it for today. Or do you have another question? What did you think about this experience? You think you're gonna do this kind of process to flesh out your characters again?
Definitely, but I'll need your help again because I forgot the questions again.
I think we're just gonna post them like on maybe like
Yeah, but I still want your help.
I can help you. We can do that together. I think it's easier to
Okay,
write
nice.
together.
It is. At least flesh out stuff, write
Yeah.
the general pattern.
Yeah, sure. We can always help each other. That's why we're here.
That's why there's two of us.
Yes, it's true. So, yeah, wait, what? I want to say something smart.
Smart will power life.
God damn it. That's not even funny. So listeners, go write that story with a character that is like an actual character, not just like a weird puppet of one emotion packed into like a human body. Think
Yes.
about your characters and make them interesting. That's like one of the most important parts for me in any story that I read. Are the characters interesting?
Same, and can I relate or can I hate them enough and stuff like that?
Yeah, are they interesting enough? Just
Yes.
that's important.
Don't make them too flat unless you want to. If your story is based on flat characters, then that's fine too. That's a stylistic choice. But if you want to make your characters interesting and like most humans act, then you can use this. And also, if you decide to use this and if you want to share, you can actually comment on Podbean if you would like to share. Please do, because I'm always interested to see what you make of those questions, what answers you find. Maybe
to leave a comment or reply, yeah, you have to download the Podbean app. God damn it, that sucks.
You can also email us. I'll link our email down in the description, because just send us your story ideas.
Yeah, just write us an email if you have anything to add, like criticism or praise. You can praise us always, and you're gonna be our favorite listener for that. So yeah.
I will read all of them. Please do. I'm very interested.
Okay, so now do your outro thing, please, because you're good at that.
Okay. Yeah. Pressure. Look in the description for the
stuff.
Everything.
Yes,
and also the email.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it.
Hear you next time. Bye bye.
So, middle to late 1800s. Is that the 1800s?
I don't know.
Or is it the 1900s?
Just say the numbers of the years. It's gonna be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll cut this out.
Yes. Don't make us look dumb, please.